Air Force, United States Air Force, where he distinguished himself on many assignments and projects while earning both a bachelor's degree in aviation studies and a master's of business degree. After 18 years of honorable service, Joe retired from the Air Force and was employed by ExxonMobil as a senior procurement associate. Currently, he owns his own real estate business. His passions include teaching, mentoring, and helping others. Tonight, we're doing something that I don't think that we've done before. Mr. Austin spoke at last year's graduation, and his words were so meaningful and well received that we have asked him back again this year. So please join me in welcoming our speaker, Joe Austin II.
Good evening, everyone. It is always good to be back home. I tell you, I currently live in Houston, but when I can get to the peace and tranquility of the country, it means something. Graduates, I know you're ready to get out of Daingerfield, but I tell you, when you get a little bit older, you'll appreciate the slower lifestyle.
Amen, brother.
I want to make sure I say thank you to the faculty and administration. Definitely thank you for allowing me to come back and speak again, and also thank you for all of your hard work and effort to getting the graduates to this occasion. And to all the families and friends, I know the hard work that is involved, the long nights, the mentoring, the counseling, the prayers, the encouragement. Just know that your work was not in vain as the graduates are standing before us today. And to the 2018 graduates, good job. I will be brief. I want you to listen to what I say. I hope it is a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of knowledge that you can take and have a better and successful life. Quickly, a little bit about me to kind of build a base. My mother died when I was 6 years old, and it kind of took a community to raise me. A lot of people from the Daingerfield community would either tell on me, tell my father what I did wrong, and back in those days, you would get a whipping from them and when you got home. So that all built me and made me who I am today. Like was stated, I am a 1995 grad, proud member of that 1995 Daingerfield state track team. But I will tell you, after that year was over, I never ran track again. But I did pass it on to my son, who is a Division I athlete. He ran track at Texas State. I was in the Air Force for 18 years, as was mentioned. Some people may say, why did you get out after 18? Well, the Air Force was drawing down and they offered an early retirement, and I figured, hey, I'll jump on it. After I jumped, they told me you have 60 days to get out. Normally you have a year. So I jumped, and when I jumped, the day I retired, ExxonMobil hired me. I worked for them for 3.5 years, and then I decided at the age of 40, enough is enough. I want to work for myself. So I started my own real estate company, and I'm standing before you today. I've been married for 20 years to my lovely wife, LaWanta, and I have 2 children, Joe III, who just finished his first year of college, and also my daughter Jocelyn, who's in the 11th grade. Now, since the introduction is over, I want to read a little poem to you. That's a very familiar poem to most, but a lot of times when we read the poem, we kind of interpret it the wrong way. After I read the poem, I'm going to tell you how I applied it to my life, and I'm going to tell you how you apply it to your life, and then I'm going to go to my seat. So this poem was written by Robert Frost, and it's called The Road Not Taken. And it reads, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. A lot of times people read that last stanza when he says, I took the one less traveled by, and that makes all the difference. But really, he was being sarcastic. Because if you go back to the beginning area, he said that both of the paths looked about the same. So I guess what I'm trying to say is whenever you get ready to choose what path you're going down in life, oftentimes there is no clear path. There is no I'm not talking about right and wrong. We know right and wrong. But when you get ready to decide, do you go to a four-year college? Do you go to a community college? Do you go into the military? All of those paths can lead you to success. And for me, I too took a path. When I first went into the military and all these things you're hearing about what I did, if you look at the very beginnings, you're probably gonna get a giggle. I went to the Air Force recruiter with two of my close friends. Mind you, I was not going in the military. My dad served in Vietnam. I have another uncle that served in Vietnam, and a third uncle who was in Vietnam who never returned. So I was never going into the military. But hey, I went to the recruiter with my friends. When we went there, he talked a very good game. He told me, hey, you can join the military and you'll just play football. What? All right, Daingerfield, I can play football? Okay, and you're gonna sit you behind this desk during the day, and you can go to Germany, you can do all this other stuff and play football. Sign me up. There was my path, all right? My other two friends ended up not going, and I stayed. Yeah, I stayed. So no, I did not play football. I went to a year-long technical school in Biloxi, Mississippi. Mind you, a year-long school? And after I graduated there, I told the Air Force, keep me in Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, somewhere south. They sent me to Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. I didn't even know where Nebraska was on the map, I'll be honest with you. But I went there, and that changed my life. When I first got to my base, my supervisor said, go to the education office and check out all of your training and see where that's taking you. That 1 year of Air Force training was so intense that I almost had 2 years of college already done. So I signed up at a community college, took about 5 extra classes, had my associate's degree, transferred into the University of Nebraska, where I later graduated. But during that time, my path changed. You see, I graduated high school in '95, and I was not getting married. Everybody who knew me then knew I was not getting married. But yet, 2 years after being in the military, I met this little Nebraska girl, and we got married. A year later, Joe III arrived, this bouncing baby boy. A year after that, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in aviation. So even though my path kind of went different, I still graduated in 1999 with my class from Daingerfield High School from that 1995 class. So I guess I'm just trying to encourage you a little bit and let you know that everyone's path can be different. Some of you are going to A&M, and that's very good. Some of you may be going to NTCC, that's still good. Some of you are going into the military, that's awesome. Whatever path you choose, just make sure you do the very best that you can, and I guarantee you, you'll still attain success. In finding your road and finding your path and finding your success in life, there are 4 areas that I want to leave you with, and I'll go to my seat. The first one is make sure you find your dream, your passion, your purpose. My passion is aviation, and even though I'm not flying right now, I could do that for free. That's how you know what your passion is. Whatever something that just bugs you day in and day out, is something that you constantly think about, that's your passion. It may be your military crew, it may be your collegiate activities, it may be your humanitarian mission, or it could even be your political agenda. You may run for a political office. You may want to do a business. Whatever that passion is, just keep going with it. Again, my passion, military, community college, family, 4-year college, aviation, business owner, etc. The next thing you need to do is launch out into the deep. The deep is that unknown area outside of Daingerfield. For me, the deep was Omaha, Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, all right, in that military time. I like to tell a story about this in the Bible. When the fishermen had come back to the shore, these professional fishermen had not caught anything, and Jesus told them to launch out into the deep. Well, they were professional, and any fishermen out here know that in the evening time, the fish come back to the shore. But Jesus told them to launch out into the deep. They went to the deep, and they caught so many fish that their nets were breaking and their boats were sinking. So tonight, I tell you guys, launch out into the deep. That's where your biggest reward will be at. If you stay local, close to the shore, you can still make it, but your biggest reward is out there in the deep. The third thing is to nurture your dream. Just like your physical body needs substance to survive, if you starve your passion, it will eventually die. Whatever it is you really want to do, you have to do one little thing every day. I don't care if it's reading an internet article, reading a book. I don't care if it's just meditating about it. You have to feed that passion every day. My passion is aviation, and I feed it every day. And even now, I'm preparing to go back and continue flying and getting additional ratings. Who knows? I don't have a desire to fly for the airlines, but I do want my own airplane. The fourth and final thing I will say is do not quit. I guarantee you it's gonna get hard. High school was hard, but real life, I'll be honest with you, sometimes it straight sucks. I'm just gonna be honest. When you grow up and you have to do grown-up stuff and you have to pay bills and you have to go to school and mommy or daddy are not there to tell you to do this or do that, and you have to live with your own consequences, don't quit. If you mess up, get back on the straight and narrow and don't quit. Remember that path I talked about earlier? I had plenty of mess ups in my day, but I'm still standing here today, and if you look at me, you wouldn't know any of the mess ups that I've had, but I've had them. So I tell you, 2018 graduates, I'm proud of you. I know your parents and the faculty, everyone's proud of you, and I expect big things from you guys to come. God bless y'all.
Good.